Okay, so I guess I'm streaming right now. Let's check. Um, am I live or am I not live? I'm pretty sure I am, but it's just yeah, cool. Oh, uh, oh yeah, okay, I'm live. Cool, I like it. Um, so yeah, basically, I'm just gonna be making a isometric map. That's basically what I'm gonna be making. But firstly, I'm just gonna be making a 32 by 32 top down tile, and then I'm gonna be using isometric tiles after that. Let's just make this top down tile first. Let's use one color. Boop, and then we can just do some brush strokes. We got some grass ties, and then okay. It's fine. It's not that bad. It could have been way better, but I really need to be that good. Anyways. There you go. That's at least fun stuff. You can see better. The limits. Okay, that looks decent. Good enough. Good enough, good enough. Now what I'm just gonna do is I'm gonna export it as a sprite is fine. Called grass top down sprite. Okay. And I'm gonna save grass top down sprite. And then I'll actually have to save it first and then export it because it doesn't work otherwise. Export as, export. Now let's just see where it is. It should be in sprite here and grass top down sprite is probably it. Okay, so we got our sprite right here. Okay, let's carry on. Now that we have our sprite, what we gotta do is put it in our game. Okay, so basically, currently, our game is just like this. All we have is the current position, which is given to us by getting the mouse position of our getting the mouse position. Yeah, basically that's it. Now let's draw this thing. But first we gotta load it into the game. And for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new file called uh, tiles. Or wait, I'll call it tiles. Okay, that's fine. Tiles.cpp actually. Tiles.cpp. Okay. And okay, that's a problem. Put it here, and then add it here as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then add it here. Let's just say hashtag it's in source. I should get a source. And then include tiles or tiles. Okay. And then we do the same thing, but make a header file and call and we get it from include. Okay. Now let's just make that as well. And assets, but add a new file. Let's call this file files.h. Okay. Already have it. Yeah, already have it. All right. So now we have tiles h and tile.cpp. Let's make our class. Call it tiles. Delete these guys because I don't need them. The tile section, I'm going to be making one called um, texture loader, and another matrix called texture draw. And one maybe I'll call texture initialize. I'm not sure if I'm going to be using that one, but I'll just call them voids for now because I'm not sure if I'm going to return anything using them. But if I do, I'll just change that as well. So now let's just put has.cpp hashtag include our house.h. Okay, what's up with this? Why is it working? Okay, let's do this. Enter and tas.cpp. Yes. Okay. It is working. I'm not sure. It's fine. Just carry on. Okay. And now that we have these guys here, okay, so let's see. Firstly, we need to get our textures. And basically, what I'm gonna do is get some real examples on how to load textures, of course, first. Um, yeah, texture. What are textures? How to load textures, logo relative clipboard image, main font gloss, image generation, strong, image text image. Texture curve. I think I just need image drawing. So basically what they do is they load image. Okay, I believe what they do is basically what maybe? Wow. Oh wait. Start include relib.h. There we go. Texture. Oh, ain't no working, bro. Let's put it here. Texture 2D. Yeah, texture 2D. Why is it not working here, though? Oh, right there. So, um, okay, so texture 2D. Yeah, call this texture 2D something like grass, top, down, and I'll just leave it empty for now. And then in tiles.cpp, I'll just say reload maybe. So if I write it, it comes up, but if I don't write it, it doesn't like show me what it can become. Okay, if there's something wrong with this file. Save, but let's just read it. Okay, I think it should be working now. Okay, see texture. Texture, draw, to initiate. I mean, not initiate. Initialize. Oh yeah, that's just my thing. Okay. Texture, 2D, set. Initialize, lower. Those are my things. Texture draw, that's my thing as well. So I'll say load texture. How does this work? Okay. So basically I just have to do grass top down. So grass top down is going to equal to load texture and then the files directory, which I'll get from my VS projects. Farm game, assets, sprites. Okay, that's where I'll get it from. Control V. Okay, so basically my thing is assets slash, oh wait, my apologies. It's basically assets slash right slash grass top down right dot png. Okay, that's basically the sprite. And I'll make this a bool, and I'll say if grass top down um maybe equals let's see. Okay, so I just have to check the ID. Dot ID is equals to 0, then it's basically failed. So I will just what was it, error logger, what was it, trigger or something? That's fine. Let's use strings. Hashtag include string. No, IO string. Hashtag include. No, I think that's good. I'll just include string as well because I might need it. I might not need it. I'm not sure. No, probably won't actually need it this one. Probably not. Maybe later, but then I'll add it just later when I actually do need it. So it's gonna std character out. mm, Character out grass top down has not loaded. Commissioner. Actually, C error for sure. Yeah. Okay, that is how to do it. And then it's just gonna tell me if it hasn't loaded, and if so, it'll just return loaded. And if so, it shall just return to me saying that it has not done so. But no, it's really annoying. So, just command. Okay, so basically, it's just going to return false. Otherwise, it's going to return true. This way, we can check if it has if it has loaded or not, and if it has not, we can just close the program. But I guess I don't need a texture loader if I already done the loading here, right? Yeah, I believe so. Okay, okay. I think what this should instead do is it should be texture unloader, not even because I do need a texture unloader. I already have a texture loader. Okay, I'll leave this as that for now. And then basically what I have to do is I have to draw the texture now. Texture. Is it texture, draw texture, and then is that it, or do I have to use X? Rotation, scale. Okay, I believe I do need to scale it, so I'm going to use X, but let's see what Pro gives me. Rotation, origin, destination, settings. Okay, I think X is good enough for me. So what I'm going to do is dot draw texture X, and the texture is going to be glass top down. Position is just going to be, I'm going to say 300, 300 for now. And I have to actually give it to like this, 300, 300. And then I need a rotation of 0. I don't really need a rotation. And a scale, I want to scale it up 4 times. So I'm just going to say 4. And the color tint is just going to be white because I don't want to change the color tint. Okay, so that's basically it, right? Yeah. Okay, so just I just have to unload the texture now. I can just say unload texture. Yeah, basically. Texture. Texture. And grass top one. Okay. Believe that's all I gotta do. I believe that's all I gotta do, brother. All right, now that's all I gotta do for now. Now I have to put this into the game, right? So, um, go to game.cpk. That's updating it. That's drawing it, and that's shutting it down. Okay. So what I gotta do is print game. Do I have to do it inside of print game? Uh, that is kind of okay. That is kind of annoying. So what do we do this? Yeah, I'll make a game.h. I'll go to game.h. I'll change print game. Um, How did you change again? Rename zero. Let's go to draw game. Okay, make it draw game. Oh no, I'll keep this as is, but for this one, rename, make it draw UI. I'll make it draw UI and apply that. And then I'll make something else, and then I'll say call it void draw game. Okay. And then I'll make same for this, and then I'll put draw game here. Basically, then. Okay, so I can just close this print game thing. I have draw game and draw UI. That's how I can just open it. Okay. I have update and run and initialize. Okay, so for initialize, first we go to game.h and we have to include tiles.h and we can go to game.cpp and add the initialization here to the first round. What was it called? Tiles.h texture initialize. Okay. So let's just put this over here. I'm just going to close everything else for now because I don't really need it right now. H kind of okay, by the way, I do have a texture loader here. Do I really need a texture loader right now? I'll keep it for now, but I don't think I'm gonna need it. I'll just see. If I do need it, I'll keep it. If I don't, I'll just take it off. So basically, texture initialize, right, do it right here. Initialize. And okay, I know why this is happening. I have to make it so that it's like tiles, called tiles. And then I gotta go to main.cpp and game.cpp and say tile.texture initialize. I can say if that equals is the same as false, right? Wait, the tile.h. I'll make this into a bool. Yeah? Ooh, the other one. Ooh. Okay. I did make it a bool here. I just didn't make it a bool here. That should be fine. So if it is false, then return false. Otherwise, you can just yeah. And yeah, that's basically it. And what happens in this is basically it initializes, and if it's false, oh yeah, I could just do the same thing here. Actually, I don't have to make it equal to false. That's fine. Trace log error. It basically just closes the thing. So let's just see. Okay. Oh, okay. I don't think that's my problem. I think that is. Okay, let's try it again. Okay. Yeah, as I thought, that's not my problem. That's just not my problem. Okay, so tiles.cpp. In tiles.cpp, as I said, we gotta draw the texture now. That's because we've already initialized it, right? So we just gotta load it now. Redraw it. So we can go to game.cpp and in the draw game category, which is where we draw things, we can just draw the tile, right? So I can just say tiles dot texture draw. And that's basically all I gotta do. I've done it now. And then in shutdown, before I close the window, I believe I have to unload the texture. So I have to say tiles dot unloader texture. And basically, that's all I gotta do, right? Let's see if it works now. So it does not work. Just this one like here, right? So let's see why it doesn't work. Shut down, draw UI, draw game. Draw game is inside of the draw game area. So since inside of the draw game area, that should be fine. And main.cpp has run. Oh wait, run of because I'm not drawing anything. Okay, so game dot print game dot print game. Oh wait, no, run should include print game, no? Wait, let me see. Run, yeah, it should include print game. So that's not a problem actually. So back to game.cpp, print game. Ah. H, P. So we did load the texture, and that is a texture tiles.h, right? That's top down. And then we should be able to, we loaded it, we saw if it loaded or not. Okay, what if we said, if it equal to, let's say 1, right? Then the game wouldn't start. Oh no, the game did start. Um, so if it equals 1, or if it, or does it equal 0? So I believe the texture is not loading correctly because this is not working. Let me see. What's this? Grass top down dot ID. So what if we say if it's not? No, that's not. Grass top down dot ID 230, right? Not really, and should return false. But we do load the texture here, right? Let me see if the texture's grass top down swipe dot png. So yeah, that should be correct. And I am assets sprites let's go down sprite dot png. So yeah, that should be fine. Character error. Let me see if I get a character error because it doesn't return false. Doesn't. Okay, wait. Let me also just say else and then say this has loaded instead. So I can see if this function even runs. Okay. So it says grass top down has loaded. This function is running. But for some reason, it's not working. So go to game.cpp again. Here, drawing the game. Instead of draw the game, we have tiles.texture draw, which draws the texture. We also have texture initiate, which does not return false, which returns true, which means that it is working. And if it does return true, that means that we have initialized it. And then We have the print game, which does draw the game, but for some reason, when it does draw the game, it doesn't draw the tile, dot textures, texture draw. Okay, let's just do this instead, yeah? Should say draw rectangle. That's all we gotta do. Draw rectangle. Let's say position X is gonna be 500, comma 500, comma width. Let's say it's gonna be 100, comma 100, comma let's say 1. So if the draw is running here, then that means that we gotta get something out. If it's not running, then there's something wrong with that. Huh. Okay, there's definitely something wrong with the draw here. So you're not getting the draw rectangle either. Okay, so let's just try this, yeah? CD character error. Game has been drawn. Okay. CD character error. Game.h is using tile, so it should be fine because we have a string there. Game has been drawn. Let's do this in different areas, yeah? Okay, let's instead of here, let's put it here. Okay. Game has been drawn. UI has been drawn. Game has shut down. Being shut down. And what else we can do? Game has been updated. We can put here. And we can put initialized. Game has been initialized. Game has been initialized. Okay, so now if we run it, we should get a series of things, right? Game has been drawn, game has been drawn, UI has been drawn, game has been updated, game has been drawn, UI has been drawn, game has been updated. Okay. We're getting game has been initialized. We got it. Yeah. We got grass top down has loaded. Game has been initialized. And then we have game has been updated. Game has been drawn. UI has been drawn. And we're still getting it. And if we close it, it should say um, game has been shut down and closed successfully. Okay, so all of these, they all work. All of these work. Game has been drawn, UI has been drawn, game has been updated, game has shut down. All of these things work. Then why don't I get this flippin' right, bro? What is wrong with this game? This progress. Let me see. Let me see. Maybe there's a problem with the camera. Not entirely. So let's see. Camera controller. H. Controller. CPP. Okay, I'm not entirely too sure what's wrong. Let's try doing this, all right? Cancel. Like, okay, let's just close this for a second, okay? I'll save all of this and I'll close it for a second. Close that. Close that. That's fine. Farm game, compress. I'm guessing the outsource is food is hardly anything that licensing is right. Okay, so game. No, I think it's fine. Game. Just one. Oh, okay. Now I know what the problem is, brother. Okay, it was the camera controller. Okay, so we basically just have to initialize the actual camera because currently it's been initializing to nothing. Lovely. Lovely, 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 lovely. Okay, so uh, void initiate initialize the camera. Okay, initialize my camera. Right? Initialize my camera. Type. We type word. What do you mean by that, man? Oh, that's true. My apologies. My sincerest apologies. Let's initialize the camera. Okay, we gotta get our camera dot offset should be equal to 0.0, and then target should be 0.0, and then our dot rotation should be just 0. I guess point at this rotation is a floor. And then our zoom should not be 0, it should be 1. That's the whole problem here, bro. Like, come on. How did I not get that? Was the whole problem here, brother? Brother. Control X. V. Actually, good. Okay. Right. Okay, so basically we just say camera controller or dot initialize camera. I believe that's basically all it is. Okay, yeah. Now I feel kind of stupid. I mean, not gonna lie, yeah. I feel stupid. Yeah, man, that's great. That's great. That's lovely. Ah, that's lovely. Camera should should be a bool like that other guy. Should do the same thing here. If the camera duplicate false, should return false, and change go to camera controller. Change this to a bool. And then return true. Because it would have done this, So, take this a bool, and then should be able to be good to go. Okay, basically, now we have a working thingamajiggy. Okay. Way longer than I wanted it to take. But it's fine. It's totally fine. Okay, so, hmm. I'll just keep that there. It's fine. I'm done with the tiles for now. So we're going to be making the grid now. And for that, I'm going to make a new file, call it grid.cpp. And, and then grid.h. Hashtag pragma once that's grid. What? Here's our that. Here's that. Okay. And then grid.cpp should contain grid.h. Grid.h. And the grid.h should actually include array.h. Yep. Okay, so basically, right, the easiest way to make a grid is using two for loops using a row and a column, which I should initialize right in the configuration data. Config, there you go. Okay, so this is basically initialize screen. I say initialize screen. And height, I'm gonna put it 800 because I'm kind of annoying right now from where it's like being drawn. And actually, let's just go back a little. See the tile, and not. It's fine for now. It's fine for now. Grid XPP, grid.h, camera.h, camera controller.h, camera controller.xpp. These are fine for now because yeah, I'll change it if I need to. So now I do need to do some stuff because okay, I'll do it after I actually make the grid. So write a draw a grid. That's basically what I'm doing. And then basically just make grid CP, put it into grid.cpp. And what I want to do right now is make the actual tile. For me to make the actual tile map though, I need to use double for loops. Okay, so before I start that, I remember I have to open config. So rows and columns. Columns. So for now, I'm going to keep it as inline const extra, which basically just makes it available everywhere and also makes it so that it is set before the game starts running, basically. Yeah, basically. It's going to be an integer, calling it row, which is going to be, I'm going to make 16 rows. And inline const expr integer column. I'm gonna make 16 columns, basically, right? It's basically gonna be like a square kind of thing. And now that I have those, I'm gonna go to grid.h and include the config. Include config.h, which should now allow me to use rows and columns and everywhere the same intervals, I guess. So what I'll do now is I say for the integer, I'll I can use okay. Basically, I'll leave this as I for now, but as I starts from 0, and as long as I is less than the amount of rows which I will get from config, then it's going to add one to I. Okay, I'm gonna call I current rows, and I'm gonna call this thing max rows. I'll change it here. Max rows, max rows, max rows, and max columns. Control C, go to grid.cdp, call it max row. Okay, now that I have that, I'm going to make another. I'm going to call this max columns, current columns, current columns, current columns, and then call this one max columns. Okay, so basically, it's fine, I guess. So basically, right, we're going to be drawing here. And we're going to be drawing using tiles. So we'll get our tiles to here. Drag include tiles. Tiles, yeah. Tiles, yeah. Okay, basically I'm just going to be drawing this there. Wait. Okay, I'm gonna call this texture 2D. I have to change it. I'm gonna call it a texture 2D draw. Texture I'm gonna call texture carrier from now on. Texture carrier. That's basically what I'm gonna call this. Texture carrier. And I'm going to go to game.cpp, right? Yeah. And change tiles.h to, I'm not going to change it, but I'm going to add Control C, Control V, a grid.h. And from now on, I'm not going to be drawing here. I'm not going to be drawing this here. Instead, I'm going to be going to make game.h. I'm going to make a grid, and I'm going to use this grid to draw the grid. Yeah, basically, right? Grid and then draw grid. Basically, right? Basically, right? And then I'm going to put the texture to the grass texture here, which I will say Control C. I need to put that so it's like, no, it's fine. I don't need that here. Let's draw a grid, and then config and grid can basically take it from tiles directly, yeah? So I'll just call it tiles, tile, and then I can just take it from tile directly. Grid.cpp, I'll just call it tile dot texture carrier. I'll call it texture 2D. Um, Grass texture, just going to include the tile dot texture carrier. I'm basically making a copy of it, which is not optimal, but at the same time, it's fine for now. Okay. I don't need to make this for every single one of them. So I'm just gonna make it at the start and just use the grass texture later on. So what I have to do now is draw a texture. Yeah, draw texture X, actually. And then inside of it, I can use the grass texture that I currently have. Kind of want to make this grass texture actually just a pointer, but it's kind of annoying, bro. A pointer that points to this guy. Oh, I know it sounds. What's up, fine, my brother? So I'll fix that. So basically, we just take the grass texture, and the position should change for every one of them, right? Basically, we should be adding one for every change in position. So if the first position is, let's say, 100, the second position should be more like 100 plus, like plus 100, you know? So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I'm just going to say 100, 100 for now. And then I'm going to do the rotation, which is going to be 0.5. Scale, which is going to be 4.5. The color, which is going to be this white for now. For now. For now. Okay, basically, we're just gonna draw this now, and we can draw this and give out CPP as I've done so. So we should still do exactly the same thing, unless it doesn't work. Let's return a value. Oh yeah, sure. Let's just return. Here we gotta return grass top down. Yeah, that's really not optimal at all in any way whatsoever. That's fine. So basically, it's not. I don't even have to do that, bro. What am I doing, bro? Like, what am I doing, bro? Oh my God, I'm just making my own life harder, bro. What am I doing? I don't even need to do that, bro. I already have it right here. It's gonna say tile dot. Wait. Oh, I don't know why it's not helping. Because tiles.h, this is private. I just gotta make it public. I can access it. We must okay, so basically, now that this is accessible to me in the grid.h section, all I have to do is make it accessible to me in the grid.h section. That's all I need to do, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna put it back here so I can know if it's just not working or if this is just not. So draw grid. Game.cpp is right here. Right? Draw grid. Yeah, that's right there. And then okay. All I have to do actually all I have to do is I just have to say std cursor and then say loaded or not loaded. Loaded not. That's fine. I'm just doing this to check if it works or not. So I'm saying if I get here in the first place or not. Because okay, loaded not, loaded not, loaded not, loaded not. Okay, so we are getting here. It's just that when we draw it, yo, bro, oh my god, I'm stupid, bro. Of course it's not gonna draw. Okay, wait, no, that's not actually true. Okay, just wait. Control C, right? Control V here. But this should technically draw something. Something. Unless rotation, scale, and color tint. Yeah, that should actually draw something. Um, tile grass top down. Yeah. Tiles, grid, tiles, grid. Grass top down. Technically, we should be loading the grass top down, but and no, not but, and it should also be coming to our grid, but it's not. I might be cooked, guys. I might literally be cooked. Can't even do basic. Okay, so what if okay, so std string is something going to equal to file dot grass top down. And maybe I just do a to string. Can I do std to string? So basically, um, okay, wait, is this not using task.cpp, which should have, oh, it doesn't have, okay, no, that's fine, that's totally fine. Grid.cpp, no grid.h, no grid.cpp, or grid.h, hashtag include string, string, string there. Okay. So that should be fine. Uh, so say if tile dot what's tile dot grass top down is equal to 0. How do we check it? Oh my god, bro. So tiles.cpp. Oh, we check it by ID. My apologies. Dot ID is equal to 0. Then we just std character error not loaded basically. Okay, let's try it out. Hmm. So it is not loaded because it's showing me that it's equal to 0, which means it's not loaded. Okay, 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 okay. Why is that? Why is it that it's not loaded? Ah, okay, and now I know, bro. Because I'm using a class right here, right? Which is becoming equal to 0. Instead of taking the class that has already been made inside of game.cpp, which has loaded the texture. So currently, I am trying to load a texture that has never been. So what I have to do is I have to take the texture from the game.cpp to have the texture that I need. Okay, okay. Texture 2D, grass texture. Okay, okay. Hear me out, bro. Hear me out, bro. Hear me out, bro. I'll put just grass texture. Tiles dot grass texture actually. Tiles dot grass texture. Dot. Okay, I'll go to draw grid. Texture to the grass texture. That's gotta get a little bit in there. I gotta go in there. Grass texture 2D grass texture. Okay. Okay, now that I know that, I just gotta say tiles dot grass top down. Okay. Now I have the loaded file in that I'm going to be using through the game.cpp file and load it back into the draw grid so I can actually draw it. Okay. So now in grid.h, I have a grass texture. And using that grass texture, I can just say grass texture, control C, control V, grass texture.id equals to 0. It's not equal to 0, not anymore. Okay. I'm going to control X this for now, and let's see. Okay, okay. Grass top down has loaded, and I am using it. Okay. So since I figured it out, big brain moment, big brain moment. Okay, since I have figured it out, okay, now let's try drawing it. And it's not gonna be anything crazy because I'm just drawing it in the same location right now. The exact same location. Oh my gosh. How did I not? Oh my goodness, bro. See, this is like the peak of inexperience. This is the peak inexperience. Because I forgot that classes make their own objects and then use those objects in different places. And because I had an object that I created in game.cpp and an object that I created in grid, I was trying to use two different objects, but I was trying to treat them as the same object. That's why it was not working. But now I'm not making a new object in grid. I'm taking the object from game.cpp and loading it into grid.cpp, which means now I can use it, bro. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, now I have a 100, which means that doesn't mean anything actually. But now I can multiply it by what I need. So currently I have current rows is equal to 0 as long as the current rows is less than the max amount of rows. I have to say less than or equals to the current rows adds to the previous one. So it's like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yada yada. Okay, now all I have to do is I have to say 100 multiplied by the current amount of rows but it has to be a float, right? Just hit shift fix it, point F, and then multiplied by the current amount of columns, okay? So basically, this should make it so that, okay, let's just see how it works. Let's see how it works. Okay, now you guys can see that we have a grid, yeah? Okay, I'm gonna make this actually 3 times the size because 4 times it can be really big. Okay, so basically, okay, wait. Okay, so basically, yeah, this is basically it. Every moment, every moment. Ooh. So it should start from zero because current row starts from zero. So zero zero should be zero now. Zero two, zero three, zero four, five, zero zero one. That should be 1 0 and one 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 two one two and that should be all. Except currently we have these things that have these spaces between them, right? This is because actually they're not 100 big. Currently, what I have to actually do is get the original sprite size, which I will put into config.h. I will say um, texture size OG original. I'll call these inline const extr integer um, um, width texture width, which is going to be 32 pixels, and texture height, which is also going to be 32 pixels. Okay. And then I will have texture scaling, which in this case is just going to be 3, okay? And I will actually be using these up there. And basically what I have to do is I have to go to grid.cpp, change this to config, okay? Um, okay. Go back to config and make texture size scale. And then take these two again, but this time texture scaled width, which I will call text scale width. Text, I'll call it text scale width. Yeah, I'll just call it scaled width. Scaled width. I feel like that would be easier. Scaled width is just going to be texture width, texture height multiplied by the texture scaling, basically. Yep, that's literally about that's literally about. Okay, now I go to grid.cpp. I call and scaled width. Multiply current rows. Okay, I will call these floats in config because I do need floats. I do need to make them floats, so I will call them floats. No, and yeah, that's fine. And grid.cpp should now be fine as well. Config, yada yada. Come here, scale height is what I'm going to change this to. Lastly, I don't have it like that because I didn't scale the height, texture height, texture scaling, texture width, texture scale width. Okay. Go to grid.cpp and change this to config scale, no, scale, texture scale. So basically, we can just have the grass texture and then the whole surrounds it there, and that this thing, and that thing, and this thing. And this should now be easier to. Okay, so yeah, that's basically it. So now we should have lined up stuff waiting for us. You know, there you go. Okay, you guys can see it because it's not done. So this is basically what it is. Each one of these is good, 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 good. Okay, what I want to do actually is I want to get kind of a randomized texture here, like a color basically. So what I'm going to do is going to go to grid.h. I'm going to make a void random number gen. Yeah, oh yeah. I'll call it random number generator. Generator. Actually, go to config.h, yeah. And then generator, void random number generator, for x. I will make it. I will make a class um, and call it config class, and then there. I will come here, make a random generator, make it a void random. No, actually, I need to be make it an integer random generator because it's supposed to return a number, right? Um, yeah, integer is a single. That is what it is. And then we have to make a source for this, calling it config.cpg. Apply, hashtag include config.h, and basically just make this there. Okay. So this is just going to take in a number, integer, which I will actually make a class for. Enum class. Where was the class enum? Um, type gen. It's basically the type of generator that we want, basically. And it can be anything. And I'm going to call it the first one near white gen, which is going to generate a color that is near white, basically. Type gen number. That's what I need. Control C, Control V right here, and I'm just gonna say it is if the number is the same as near white gen, then so basically what's going on. I have to say gotta say config. That's all. Yeah. Yeah. Touching. Why is not working, bro? Why not working, bro? Oh, yeah, why it's not working, bro? Come on, man. I know we can do this. Hmm. Okay, buddy. Why did it not work on that? Oh. Because namespace conflict and class conflict are different things, my boy. My boy, they're different things, my boy. Come on, man. Okay. Cancel. Okay. That's basically it. Type and yeah. Okay, buddy, calm down, buddy. Okay. And if that is the case, um, huh. Okay, wait. I need a number generator, bro. Okay, I gotta get one. Okay, random number generator. C++. Okay, for this, basically, um, yeah, I think I should just use the basic generator because I don't need it to be like anything crazy. Hashtag include random. That's all I need. And config.cpp. I can just use something like std mt1997 or 19937. And then, okay, so basically just do this random std random device, which I'm just going to call random device. Like that, like that. And then this is going to call gem and then random, you know. And then using that, we can do distributions of uniform. We can do uniform distributions. So using those, we got to do std uniform. Oh, flat uniform integer distribution, and it's going to be integer. So and we're just going to be using near white, which is going to return for us a number between 230 and 255. Okay. Um, yeah, yeah, that's basically what it's going to return for us. And um, it's just going to equal, we make an integer random number, which is going to equal to nothing. Let's just, yeah, let's just say 0. This is going to equal to 0. That's just going to return round number, and I'm going to make it equal to a round number here, which is going to equal to the near white that we just did, you know? So we can just maybe do like control control V, there you go. Okay, no, type is not allowed. Oh wait, my apologies, my sincerest apologies. Just going to continue that. Um, so now we do it, bro. Come on, man. Um, oh, okay, wait. That's my fault. I gotta use the generator. No, gen- Yeah, okay, like this. Okay, like this. And basically, then the random number that we get is going to be whatever this gives us. So then we have a random number between 230 and 255, which I can now use in the other parts of this, which I will now use in the other parts of this. Okay. Wait, I gotta change this right here to config, but C config class, because I need config and config this class config to be uh, like distinguishable, no? And config class. Okay, there we go. Now I can distinguish between this config and the config class. Number.cpp should be fine now. And now I just have to change the white to something that we can use. Yeah. Uh, okay, so we can do something like this, right? Where we have four numbers, comma. Let's say 255, comma 255, comma 255. And that would be 255 and that would basically just be white, right? This is, uh, yeah, that would be just fine. As you can see, that would be just fine. But that would be just fine, yeah. Okay, so but we want them to have a random difference in color, So what we can is precisely do is oh, kind of tired. Okay, but what we can actually do is get the config class on, let's call it conf, con, con class. It's the con artist class, guys. Con artist class. So we can just do con class dot random generator, and we can just put in one. One new light gen, and we can use to to unsigned character. Okay, we can just do static underscore cast into a u int 8 which should be what is actually being used here, but for some reason it's not. Okay, and we can just use type gen new white. Yeah, yeah. Can we not do that? Yeah. Hey ho. Okay, what if we just make it an that way it would be easier for me as well. You know, just be easier for me. If I could just use it as an I mean, at least probably. Gen, where, maybe not. Some class, okay. One class dot, your gen. But, with a big, big but, get a class, it would be that. Half, it would be that. But then it would be up to you. So dots. Maybe up to you could touch it. Might not. So again, like gen. That's what I would have to do, but it's like not class member. No, why does that work? Let's ask why it don't work. Why don't this work? Why don't this work, bro? Oh, okay, so I was just a little off. Yes, I'm sure what it says. Oh, that's what it was. Oh, sugar. Oh, dash. Hmm. Why does it use an outside character, my child? Usually uses 8 bits so it can store values from 0 to 255. Yeah, but okay. No, no, you're right, right, right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, character. That's my apologies, mate. My sincerest apologies. Control C, Control V, Control V again. Like what? Okay. So this technically shouldn't work, but a very big but. Very big but. Okay, so when I do this, right, this is what happens. The textures, they change all the time. So it's not like they change once and then they say like that. No, they change every frame, every single frame, a new colors, right? That's why what I have to do is Make it not random anymore. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Okay, no, I got it. So let's make a new function. Void assign grid. Assign grid. Yeah, yeah. We're gonna assign grid, brother. Okay. Um, in this, what we have to do is basically what we have to do is basically, right? We basically have to get our grid and get every single part in our grid and give them a random thing, you know. You know what? I think that's enough for today. I'm kind of tired. I'll deal with this tomorrow.